everyone, and welcome to Backseat Sports. I'm Josh, and that is Caleb, and we have a lot to talk about today. The Nebraska Spring Game is here, and we're going to be going through the biggest things to look out for in this game, the keys to having a successful game for Nebraska, and things we're really looking for in this game. So it's going to be a blast. We have a lot to talk about. But Caleb, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Josh. It's an exciting week.
It is.
Got the Masters. We got some Nebraska football.
I know.
It's exciting. This is the one game to tie this over until football season.
The horrible gap. The next 3-4 months. It's terrible.
It's things definitely rough.
I know. But yeah, there's gonna be a lot to talk about, man. There really is, and obviously a lot's happened. We haven't uploaded a ton in the last month or so there's a lot to catch up on, and we'll be talking about it all in this video, as well as theorizing about the spring game. So without further ado, we have a lot to get into. So off the rip, there's a lot of storylines going into this game, and I think the first place to start is kind of the format and what we're expecting. As of recording this, there's not a guaranteed set format, but Frost did say that it's looking like there may not be a full simulated game. It's looking like a more maybe like a scrimmage type format with an offense versus defense situation. So that's kind of the first thing to look out for. And probably, as we get into this closer to the game, we'll really know for sure exactly what the format's looking like.
Yeah, there's been a ton of injuries in camp thus far.
Oh my word.
Maybe like in years past, if they do decide to go for it, we'll have guys playing on both teams and kind of switching jerseys. Would probably be the only other way to do it.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past in years. That's definitely possible.
But yeah, we'll just be excited to see. Again, just excited to see some football.
I mean, some of the big injuries, like the tight end room especially, is like depleted. I mean, Vokalek's probably not going to play. Fadone's probably not going to play. Hickman and Brewington aren't probably not going to be playing. So you got some of these position groups that are absolutely devastated with injuries. O-line, like Corcoran and Prohaska haven't been playing. Garcia Castaneda, who's one of the transfers coming in this year, guy everyone's really excited to see play. He's questionable and will probably miss the game as well. And Luke Reimer's probably not going to be playing in the game either. So there's a lot of guys across both sides of the ball, already who are probably not going to play. And there's other guys who are still on the fringe as well. So that's kind of where a lot of the questions originally reside here with the spring game.
Not an injury, but definitely a hurt to the team. I'd say has been the next biggest news this offseason would probably be Xavier Betts not returning to the Huskers for this next season. Josh and I have both been proponents of Xavier Betts these past couple seasons. A lot of big plays. Everybody was hoping to be a staple of our offense this season, and for him just not to be on the team anymore, man, it just stinks to see it.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think we can talk more about that probably as we get into the wide receiver group especially. So off the rip here, I mean, let's start on the offensive side of the ball with some of the obvious big keys to the spring game and things that people are looking for. Obviously, replacing last year's players, or the missing pieces, is always what you're looking for here in a spring game situations. Of course, with Adrian's departure, Samari Torre, Cam Jurgens, Matt Sichterman. I mean, there's some really big pieces there, including some of the running backs as well, like Sevion Morrison, Marvin Scott, and even Levi Falk leaving in the receiving room. So there's a lot of guys you're looking for to kind of fill the gaps there. And so let's start off with the quarterback position, obviously, because it's the thing that everyone's watching for in this game. I mean, come on, Casey Thompson.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Again, the first time we'll get to see him in a Nebraska uniform, walk out
on the
Memorial Stadium. Yeah, it's very true. Yeah, we don't want him to get injured. See, I'm excited to see who he likes to throw to. Again, some of this new offense. Again, Scott Frost says, they don't want to open up too much to the playbook. Got to keep, the cards close to the chest. The classic Scott Frost thing to say.
Can't give it away for Northwestern. Like Illinois last year. I mean, to be fair, we didn't know what to expect with Illinois' offense last year in the first game because they had a whole new system in place, and look what happened. So maybe there's something there for Scotty.
I don't know. I think it was maybe just bad preparation, but
fair.
Who knows? I think that'll be exciting. I think Josh and I are still on the boat that Casey Thompson is definitely the de facto starter. I don't think Scott Frost is going to tell you in coach speak that there's a big quarterback battle.
There's this whole competition. All right, Scott. We'll be seeing a lot of Logan, I think, in the game, though. I mean, more than likely. So right now, Purdy and Richard Torres, the freshman, they're both pretty banged up. It seems like we're not going to be seeing them in this game. More than likely, if we will, it'll be very little. So it'll be a 3 quarterback thing here. Casey Thompson, Logan Smothers, Heinrich Harburg as the 3 guys we'll really be looking for in this game. So who knows? I mean, there's also Matt Masker. You can never forget about Matt Masker.
Oh, and Matt Masker is starting this season. He's the dark horse.
Yes, absolutely. So it'll be interesting to see how much we actually see of Casey. And I mean, what are you hoping to see in this game from him? Or what are you paying attention to specifically, and what you're liking to see from Casey?
Obviously, it'd be exciting to get, some big touchdown throws in there.
Test the arm a little bit.
Yeah, some dimes, in tight coverages across the field. Him being comfortable to throw, again, down the middle of the field would be exciting into those tight spaces. That'd be really what I want to see. And then also, again, just seeing who his connections are going to be.
Yeah.
Who does he favor going into this? Obviously, sad with all the tight ends being out, we won't really get to see who he likes on that side. But hopefully with some wide receivers, again, we get to see, him and an Omar connection would be exciting at this point.
I mean, last year we saw the Torrey-Adrian connection right off the rip from the spring game. And that was a pretty evident, okay, Adrian and Torrey have something here. And that definitely translated to the season. So off the rip, I'm 100% with you. That's what I'm looking for is the targets and who we're looking for, because I don't think we're going to see a very complex offense in this game, especially from Casey Thompson. Because I mean, Frost is not going to want to give any of that away. So that makes a lot of sense, to say the least. Are you at all intrigued by Logan or Heinrich or what they could bring to the table if they could make this interesting? Is there anything that you potentially want to see improvement-wise from maybe Logan, or who knows, Heinrich's arm, that could make this more interesting heading into the summer?
I mean, really, the one thing that I want to see from Logan is the thing that I don't want to see, and that's turnovers. So, if he can be ball secure, I think, again, we could win a lot of games with Logan Smothers if he keeps the turnovers down. Because, again, he is good at that read option, and I think he does have a solid enough arm to get us where we need to go.
I think we want to see a little bit of progress with that downfield, but, I mean, I'm with you. At least there was something there.
Yeah, and he did, he can complete those 15-yard passes for us. Obviously, if we saw a 50-yard, just dime on a sideline, that would be huge. And maybe I'd reel it in and say, maybe there is a quarterback battle.
Yeah,
maybe it's not.
I hope that at least give him a few shots downfield. I want to see this nice arm.
I want to see
especially
some stuff
with Omar. Ooh.
Hey, they're still trying to sell tickets and stuff, so they gotta show us some stuff.
I know, right? Seriously, oh my word. Nah, 100%. So I'm with you there. I think the quarterbacks is where you want to start. All Nebraska fans got their eyes on Casey Thompson and the rest of the group and what that could look like. Obviously, bringing in the new offense. I mean, it's going to be a blast. So the next big thing here would probably, staying on the offensive side here, it's the running backs. With so many different names in the hat and so much youth still at the position, and bringing in a transfer like Anthony Grant, there's some legit competition here. And then we're all looking at kind of some of these guys like Jack Yant, Ramir Johnson, Marquise Sept is still there. Gabe Irving recovering from the injury. He will not be playing in this game.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously Gabe Irving when it comes towards the season, and then Anthony Grant as well, where there's been a lot of hype. Where are you at with that? What are you hoping to see? What gets you interested? What tingles your feathers a little bit?
What gets me excited? I'd definitely say I think most Husker fans can agree that Jack Yant is our most exciting running back. His big games and those big runs that he's had last season.
Right, he flirts with that Derrick Henry hype. He flirts in that category.
Yeah, just some Jerome Bettis feels, just a big body that's running people over. And that's exciting. And again, he has really good vision too. So I think the thing I want to see from him most is, again, running the right direction for the plays. If that's locked down, if he knows where he's going and he's getting a lot of snaps, because I think that was his main problem. And again, we saw it in key moments where he went the wrong way on a run on a crucial third down, and he's out the rest of the game.
Yep.
And just the little things like that just can't happen because he is so talented. I've also heard that, he's dropped some weight and gained some more muscle.
Right, and that was the big narrative last year coming into the season, was the weight problem. So if he's really down some weight, then suddenly that gets interesting, I think.
Yeah, and again, with his body type, he can be an all-down back for us. If he gets healthy.
He's a thick boy.
Obviously, it'll be nice to have Grant and Gabe and Ramir and Step, because they all can do some things for us, and they're all solid players.
For sure.
Again, Ramir Johnson last year, again, in a pinch when we were down so many running backs.
He was
really
great.
Impressive. Yeah, and had some great games. And Gabe Irvin, we only got 2 games in as a freshman, but he earned the starting job from that off season. So you'd have to think that he's pretty talented too. And
the injury would be the question mark, obviously, because that was a legit serious injury. Yeah. So who knows if you come back the same from that? But I'm with you there for sure. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Grant's the interesting one. I'm obviously JUCO transfer from New Mexico Military Institute. Originally, he was Florida State's full-time kick returner, and he played his whole 2018 year as a kick returner, redshirted 2019, then transferred out to JUCO, now to Nebraska. So there's been a lot of hype around him coming off of spring practice, like Tommi Hill, one of the new guys on defense. Like he was like, yo, he's got like legit vision and speed. He's shifty as hell. And like he'd been saying like, yo, he hits the gap and I'm not even seeing the gap. Like he's out there making plays. So there is some like legit hype there. We've seen a lot of that was trending in the Nebraska Twitter sphere. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm interested. We both liked this tape when we watched a little bit of it. Like,
yeah, 100%.
There's something that could be there for Anthony Grant.
I think that's a back that fits a lot of what Scott Frost likes on his old offensive style. Again, the more
speed,
fast,
get to the edge.
Yeah, speed running back. And I think, again, both complement each other. And I think, again, fans like Yant because he's more of somewhat of the Nebraska running back.
The traditional Nebraska. Yeah. 100%.
Just
I'm
a bruiser.
Yeah, no, it is interesting. So I think overall, like, I'm excited to see what those guys can bring. And like at the end of the day, we're looking for explosive plays. We're looking for, how we deal with plays towards the edge in this zone read offense and what that looks like this year and what looks a little bit different and how we utilize each of these guys in their natural talents. Because I think any three-headed type of situation with Jack Yant, Ramir Johnson, and Anthony Grant, I think could work. And then you still got Stepp and Irving in there. And depending on what Irving can do, who knows? So I'm pretty hyped about it.
100%.
So over to wide receivers now. I guess there's not really a specific key here outside of what does it look like with replacing Samori Toure and which player is going to step up? Can Omar Manning level up? And then some of the new guys. Trey Palmer obviously is probably the highlight here of the spring game and still actually be here playing.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Losing Betts along with losing Toure. I mean, again, that really stings as our top two wide receivers. Essentially, Omar Manning, I think, can be a wide receiver one. Again, we saw how talented he was last year. He's good at running routes. He's good at catching the football. And again, he's a guy now for 2 years that we've been really excited about. And I hope that we can just see him keep leveling up because he is so talented.
Can Mickey Joseph bring it out?
Yeah.
That's the question, man.
Yeah. And then I think another person that's interesting that showed flashes in the spring game last year is Alante Brown.
Yeah, man.
He's shown that he is great in space, can catch a ball, and is shifty and can break away. So I think Alante Brown, hopefully he can level up too. Again, we need some guys to step up. Obviously, we've heard good things about Trey Palmer. Scott Frost told the story of how he caught a game-winning touchdown in a drive for him. Exciting stuff like that. And then the freshmen, Neville, Grimes, Hardy, those guys are definitely interesting too. Again, with now losing a second, integral piece in our wide receiver system, we definitely need a bunch of guys to step up. And I think obviously we have Mickey Joseph, and that he was the exciting hire, I think, for everybody this season. So I'm just excited to see the whole wide receiver core.
Oh yeah, and Mickey said that Betts, or bring it back to Betts for a second. He says it's at least possible that he could come back at some point. There was a little bit of a conversation there, and he said they've been talking with Xavier a little bit, but
yeah, it's crazy. He's not leaving camp. Like he's not going somewhere else.
It's weird. It's really weird. And so apparently the rumor was something about the love of football and whether or not he actually wants to play. It's a really weird situation. Long story short, they didn't rule out that he could potentially return, but they said that it's a Scott Frost thing at the end of the day. So who knows? But we can keep our options open, but that's not going to affect the spring game specifically. So the other thing to mention here is that originally Omar Manning got moved to the slot because they really liked utilizing his size and speed out of the slot, working him off of a softer coverage, less hands on him, letting him release freely to the outside a little bit more often and let him work across the field. But now they moved him back to the X receiver. Last year, I mean, that makes sense. Last year, he had 356 snaps split out wide and only 53 in the slot. So it was a little bit surprising that he was even going to be moved in the slot in the first place. So I think overall his build, it makes sense that he's on the outside. So that's something to also look for here in the spring game for sure too. So long story short, I'd imagine we're going to see Oliver Martin. We're going to see Wyatt Lure. We're going to see the Brody Belt. We're going to see those guys. They were all reliables making plays as well. And I think Oliver Martin probably is the guy who's going to be surprisingly played a lot this year and probably make a lot of plays for Nebraska. So that's something to keep an eye on as well and see how they're utilized on the offense. So last few things on the offensive line here. There's not much to mention besides we're going to be seeing everyone. I mean, and we'll be seeing them across all the whole offensive line at this point, with the injuries, with Corcoran and Prohaska out, and the loss, and with losing pieces on the offensive line as well, who knows? The center position's up for grabs. Basically, every position is up for grabs. And Frost said specifically, he's like, every time I look up, I see different guys in different positions. And he's like, guys do need to be able to play different positions. And so imagine and expect we're going to be seeing a lot of different guys at a lot of different positions throughout this game.
Yeah, not necessarily a good thing. Again, our offensive line has been thin for essentially the whole Scott Frost tenure.
Yeah.
It's never been a bright spot. Although we've had some singular guys eventually go to the league, it's going to happen again this year. So, yeah. I mean, I think, Prohaska's probably, again, he looked like one of our best linemen last year before he got injured.
Yeah, that was tough.
But again, he's not going to be in the spring game. So hopefully we just see some good blocking. I mean, that's just the hope. I don't care who it is, but if they can keep the defensive line out of Casey Thompson and the rest of the quarterback's hair, I'm for it.
It doesn't feel like we're going to learn too much solidified from these guys in this game, but keep an eye on some of the new players like Hunter Anthony and Kevin Williams and some of the guys who transferred in, see what they can do in this game. I mean, that'll be interesting for sure too.
Yeah, I feel like on both sides, I think both lines will be weak this year. And
yeah, it's coming off that way, but who knows? Maybe the new hires and the changing up the coaching system can make a difference. Tight end wise, not too much there either, since there's so many guys injured. But I mean, watch the redshirt freshman here. It's going to be a mess at tight end, and see how we utilize him in this game, I guess, overall with the formation. So that'll be the question. So on the defensive side, it's about replacing the veterans on the defense. Deontay Williams, Markel Dismuke, JoJo Doman, Ben Stilley, Cam Taylor-Britt, Damian Daniels, DeAndre Thomas, as well as guys like Jordan Riley, Feldarius Payne, and even Will Honus. He transferred out. Obviously, he didn't play last year, but people expect him to be back this year, and he transferred out to Kansas State with Adrian. So,
well,
where are we going to be at? Defensive line, what are your thoughts? It's going to be a weird situation this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, we lost Toyota as well. Yep. So, again, just a new look at defensive line. Casey Rogers has been limited. Nash Hurtmacher he saw some time last year. Ty Robinson.
He's going to be the guy this year on the D-line for sure.
I thought, sadly, he was disappointing from what we thought he could take a step up last year.
Agreed.
And I didn't really see enough. So I definitely expect him to make some moves still. Mosai Newsome, Marquise Black.
There's just a bunch of people down there.
Raekwon Buckley, Jalen Weaver. Again, there's so many guys that have a chance to emerge this season.
So I guess we're looking at who plays.
Yeah, who's playing? Yeah, who's playing? 100%.
Especially early in the game, and see which players the coaching staff is interested to see more of. So honestly, it's tough to learn. Because
I feel like both lines are weak, I would hope that the defensive line would kind of dominate this offensive line. I think whoever wins the battle of the lines will know which side is weaker.
And whoever loses, then you have real worries.
Yeah, I'll have worries about
probably the biggest thing. Yeah, so now the linebacking core, with Luke Reimer likely not playing, or at least playing very little if he does somehow get out there, it's a little bit weird with the situation right now. I mean, obviously Garrett Nelson's going to be the guy this year. He needs to be a star, a stud when it comes to getting to the quarterback and making plays. So we'll see how much we actually see him in this game specifically. But I think we're looking at guys like Jamari Butler and Blaze Gunnerson to take that next step this year to see more time in this game. This is kind of a position where I'm just open book. See who's out there. I don't have very many expectations for this group. It's more about really intaking what we end up seeing and then really breaking it down afterwards.
Yeah, again, hopefully seeing some speed. Again,
True.
I just felt like as the year went on, I felt like our linebackers weren't doing a good enough job tackling. They were kind of getting pushed around by running backs. And I think that'll definitely need to improve over this next season. And 100%. I don't know if we got the guys to do it. I definitely, I've circled our front seven as the thing I'm most nervous about for this season. But hopefully we can put some of those worries aside and see some great play out of a couple of them.
Right. I think it's like an Antiva Maga Clements or a Caleb Tanner probably is who you're really looking for, to see if they can make some plays. So yeah, we'll see for sure. The secondary now is where I'm pretty interested in the secondary. Obviously, you're replacing some of the GOATs. Deontay Williams, Markel Dismuke, Cam Taylor-Britt. But that creates for some interesting opportunity here, especially at cornerback. I mean, Quentin Newsome's still going to be the guy. It seems like his job's locked up. Outside of that, though, Tommi Hill from Arizona State seems to be kind of the next guy in line. I'm interested to see how that kind of goes down.
Yeah, again, we've heard a lot of things in camp. Again, we take all of it with a grain of salt, but it says you got a lot of athleticism and ability to stay in the play and make big plays. So hopefully that's the case. Again, that'd be really exciting. We're going to see a ton of new faces this year and probably some growing pains. But, again, that's why the transfer portal is so nice this season. Hopefully that we can overcome some of that and, have some more experience come onto the field. And, again, just have some good solid starts for us. Again, if we could have some more Samori Torres like success stories.
We're going to need them.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need
6, 7, 8 games this year. I mean, that's what we're going to need. 100%. Yeah, I think Tommi Hill is probably the most interesting for me there on that side. I mean, Frost said he has a deal with him in practice where if he gets 2 picks in a game, he gets to choose any number he wants. So that's interesting. I don't know. Kind of random, but pretty funny. And he still has 3 years of eligibility left. So if he has a good year, that could be pretty exciting for sure. 100%. The other guys at corner, I think Javier Morton and Omar Brown. Morton is a JUCO from Garden City Community College. So keep an eye on him, how he plays. And then Omar Brown as well, transferring in from Northern Iowa, like Chris Klaravec, and seeing what he can do. And he played a little bit last year for them as well before he got hurt. So that's an interesting, 2 guys to keep your eye on in this game too. Safety, very interesting position for Nebraska. And we've heard a lot of hype about their size and speed and athleticism, replacing some of those guys as well this year. We're hoping to see them fly around the field, make plays. And I think there's not very much expectation in this game. Besides, I want to see them make plays and get sideline to sideline.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miles Farmer will probably play safety for us this season, I would assume. Or at least, obviously, he's seen snaps as a solid backup role or a solid fill and roll at both corner and safety. But, the guy that we've been hearing a lot out of camp is Deshon Singleton.
Yes.
A transfer from Hutchinson Community College in Kansas. And again, I just heard a lot of good things from him.
Oh, Fisher's been hyping him up. He loves talking about him.
So he's probably, from the word of mouth from our coaches, we could probably see him as the other safety. But don't count out Buford or again Noah Pola-Gates has been a guy around the nickel position, a kind of a linebacker, kind of a coverage guy. He could definitely see that role too. Yeah,
Marquez Buford's really interesting too because he got moved from corner to safety, so he's making that transition, kind of the opposite of Cam Taylor-Britt, who moved from safety to corner in his career. But yeah, Travis Fisher made the call on him, rotating him through there. So this year he's had time at cornerback, safety, and nickel. And so keep your eye on how he plays and how fast he moves around the field. I think he's interesting. And Fisher's really hyped up his ability to get to the line of scrimmage and make plays around the line of scrimmage. Does he replace kind of that Deontay Williams type role of being the run stopper at safety and coming up towards the line? Maybe. And that's a guy to keep your eye on there. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, is there anything else you're looking for in this game besides obviously the recruiting aspects of the spring game with a lot of guys here visiting in this game with some 4 stars, handful of 3 stars. There's also the potential of a lot of transfers now in late April and early May. That's also something to kind of keep an eye on here with how
the Wild
players
West.
play. It's the Wild West of college football right now for sure. So is there anything else you're thinking about?
I mean, again, I just want to see as much of the Mark Whipple offense as we can.
Yeah.
Again, obviously getting a new offensive coordinator and him kind of being in control is what,
the play calling.
Is what we've been promised. So I'm excited to see that again, the read option stuff.
How different does this look? That's really what my question is.
Exactly.
Is it a complete rehaul? Or is it going to be
Is it going to be like Mark Whipple light? Like it's mostly Scott Frost with a little bit, with a little bit of Mark Whipple.
Sprinkled in, I don't know.
Yeah, so I definitely, that's the other thing I'm really excited to see.
100%. So we'll be getting a video out as well about the breakdown of the spring game here at latest by early next week, hopefully as soon as possible after the game. So make sure you have notifications turned on for that so you don't miss that video. And we'll have more videos coming out here throughout the summer as well, heading into the fall and rocking and rolling because there's going to be a ton to talk about. We got some spicy ones coming up too, so you gotta look out for that. But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Drop your comments down below and check out our previous videos, some of the breakdowns from last year. Also still really relevant and interesting. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. And guys, as always, I'm Josh. That's Caleb. This has been Backseat Sports, and we will see you next time. Go Big Red.
Go Big Red.